G'day gymnastic skill seekers, welcome back to another training vlog. It's been a couple of weeks since I've put one of these together, and the main reason is, and if you've been following the vlog, we've been doing a house swap. So we've moved from northern Queensland all the way down to South Australia, and it was a bit of a mission getting there. In total it was sort of 3 weeks, but we stopped and spent time with family and friends. Training wasn't too bad, so week 4 I ended up splitting into 2 weeks, so I did 2 sessions one week and 2 sessions the next week. And then week 5 I had to miss. It was just too much travel and too much going on, so there wasn't enough time to fit training in, unfortunately. So then when we got here, I sort of went back and did week 5 and week 6. So I've had 2 weeks in the new place and sort of caught up on training now. So just coming to the end of phase 3. And it's been a bit of a mixed bag. So I thought this vlog, I'd talk a little bit about the progress with my flexibility and maybe the lack of progress with my gymnastic strength. Now, there's been a little bit in there, but just not as much consistency this time with my training, and that's due to life and what's going on, and we just got to accept that and keep moving forward. So let's dive in and talk a little bit about this phase and the progress that I've made. We'll start with the gymnastics flexibility. So day 1's pretty much Pike Stuff, and we've taken out the head to toe that I've been working on for a long period of time just because of a bit of a right hamstring strain. So just giving that a chance to recover, and hopefully we'll get back to the head to toe in future phases. So we took advantage of this and tried to focus more on the anterior chain, more on the core compression, so strengthening those hip flexors. And it was the first time I played with some supine leg raises, so lying on my back and doing this isometric block crush, and then also just doing these manual sort of leg lifts. It was different sensation, different from the standing variation of the core compression exercises. You could really feel like when I was sitting the hips back and trying to close that angle, like a different sensation in the hip flexor. So my hips are working a little bit differently. Definitely be keeping some of this in the phase to come. And it looks like an easy exercise, but there's definitely value in this exercise, and there's a little bit to uncover for everyone. So I'll be giving some of this to my clients, I feel, because it's going to be a good thing to teach them how to get just that better engagement out of the hip flexor as we work on that core compression stuff. So I think I made some good progress with this. I think there's definitely a better closing of the angle between the torso and the thigh in these supine exercises. We also did some split stance toe elevated RDL, so continuing to work on stretching the calves a little bit, but also these were more repetitions, not too many isometric holds, so a bit of blood flow and just helping to heal a little bit that strain in the hamstring. So keeping it moving, not pushing through pain. And obviously as I warmed up, the range of motion got better. I feel this exercise has been getting better. I've definitely been getting a little bit deeper in it, and some of the strain that I have in the hamstring has been going away. So it's been very helpful. On the Pancake day, again, there's more supine sort of leg raises here. So we're looking at more knee extensions, and this is trying to really work on straightening those legs and contracting those quads in that deep sort of hip flex position. So this has definitely improved over the last 6 weeks, and I'm learning to contract those hip flexors and those quads a little bit harder in this deep sort of hip flex position, and that carries over nicely into the Pancake stretch. I don't feel the Pancake good mornings have been as successful as more sort of weighted isometric holds. I feel that for me, the weighted isometric holds have been helping to open up the range of motion in my Pancake a little bit more. But in saying that, the objective of this phase was to just give that hamstring a chance to recover, and doing some more repetitions here has been good. There is an isometric hold at the end of the exercise, but I don't feel I've made too much progression with my Pancake in this phase. Moving into front splits and Gymnastics Bridge. My active holds in the Cobra feeling quite good. I definitely prefer this higher repetitions and shorter hold times than the longer hold times that were in last phase. The last phase was like up and hold for 10 seconds, 3 reps. This phase has been sort of 6 to 8 reps with just 3-second holds. Definitely feeling the posterior chain muscles working there, and feel that I've got good sort of thoracic spine extension in this exercise. Got a long lunge reach back, mixed bag with this one. Performing this outside on a soft surface is tricky, and also just not having a focal point. I prefer to perform this inside and having like a hard surface that you're on and having the focal point of the ceiling. It just helps with balance. So yeah, some weeks I've been outdoors, other weeks I've been indoors. So it's been a learning experience to try and play with this a little bit. I do feel it's getting deeper. It's a challenge to breathe in this deep spinal extension position. So it's just like short breaths while I'm doing the holds. But yeah, this has definitely come along. I think this is contributing to the improvements in my gymnastics bridge. And I'm definitely feeling, this stretch, not so much in the front of the hip, in the hip flexor, but more through sort of abdominals region, and maybe even into the rib cage just a little bit. So it's targeting some new muscles there in that arching position. We've also got the bridge push-up. So the objective of this bridge push-up in this phase is, again, just focusing really on the spinal extension, not too stressed about straightening the legs or opening the shoulder angle. I'm trying to do that here, but the primary focus is the spinal extension. I do feel it has improved. I do feel that my hands are now closer to the box or closer to my feet than they were in the past, and I'm definitely getting a stronger back bend in this one, so pretty happy with that. So all in all, it's a bit mixed, a bit up and down with my flexibility, but yeah, I'm still happy with where I'm at right now and looking forward to getting back into a new phase and continuing to make progress with those goals. So let's take a look at the gymnastic strength. A lot of work has been going into my handstand push-up in this phase. So we've been doing a mix of the feet elevated pike handstand push-ups on the P-bars, 3 sets of 5 on that one. Yeah, feeling pretty strong with this. It's definitely come along. I noticed that I'm keeping my elbows closer in, so not flaring the elbows as much, which is a good sign. We're also working the eccentric handstand push-ups, getting a little bit more consistent with these and being able to control the eccentric motion of the handstand push-up definitely a lot better than I have in the past. So the strength is coming. And then also working the handstand push-up or the hollow back press eccentric. Definitely still got work to do on this one. The handstand push-up part is good. So lowering down into that bent arm planche. I'm getting closer to having torso parallel to floor, but I've definitely got a little bit more range to give. And that means just getting those shoulders further forward to counterbalance the feet coming down. It's getting better, but yeah, definitely something I've still got to work on with this one. And this will carry over to help with the planche, obviously. It's going to work those anterior delts and help to strengthen those shoulders just a little bit more. I've really enjoyed the combination of handstand pressing exercises in this session and feel that it's definitely helped me increase my strength over the 6 weeks. In the same session, we've been working on the back roll to plank support. I've had this in the program for a little while now, but something clicked this phase and it's been a little bit different. So I've changed the form. I've been thinking more about like a front lever row instead of like an L-sit pull up. And then it's trying to get the pull of the row and the kip of the hips at the same time. So we generate more force and just get through, that back roll a little easier. In my warm-ups, I've been doing the inverted kip to support, and I've been also doing the standing back roll to stand. And that's just helped me sort of switch on and just remember what I need to do in terms of keeping the hips, a little bit to do with timing. And if I do that before I do this back roll to plank support, it definitely has made a difference, and I feel stronger and more connected in the exercise. My consistency has definitely improved this phase as well. So this exercise would be a bit hit and miss. Some weeks I just nail every rep, and then other weeks I get some and not get others, and then other weeks I couldn't get one at all. I just get frustrated with it. But I know that I'm changing this technique has made a big difference, and I'm a lot more consistent with this now. I might miss 1 or 2 of the first reps, but then once I get 1 rep, I'm very consistent with it. So it's just getting that movement pattern down again, and then going through this. So I'll keep playing with this in the next phase a little bit, whether it's in my warm-up or whether it's part of the main session, and then hopefully look to start playing with the back roll a little bit more. So ring support to back roll, hopefully, and see how we go with that. There's still some work to be done, but I feel a lot more confident that I'm going to be able to unlock this movement pretty soon. Okay, we've also been playing with this L-sit swing to straddle planche. At the start of this phase, this felt really good. I was in a good place with this, and I felt no stress at all. I was doing 5 sets of 3 reps, and they were all pretty good. But something happened, and it sort of happened when we were traveling across Australia. So maybe that missing a week, I just haven't had the consistency of this again. Sometimes I'll get 3 reps out, other times I'll struggle to get 1. So it's been a bit hit and miss. I'm not sure why, but it's definitely a movement I'm going to keep practicing. I really like it. I want to be able to spend a little bit more time in that straddle planche, so get that swing and just have a little bit of float time in that movement. So it's a really good one in sense of like how it sets the shoulders. Like we're moving from the L-sit where the shoulders are depressed into the planche where we want depression and protraction. So I think it's a great way to keep the shoulders depressed and just really think about pushing down hard into the P-bars. I've got to get the lean better. I've got to get my shoulders further forward so it helps me get the hips up, and it helps me counterbalance the straddle position of the legs. And when I do that, I can feel that I float for a couple of seconds at the top of that planche, where it feels like a couple of seconds. It's probably a fraction of a second. And then I come back down into the L-sit. So it's just timing, and it's also just getting that lean. So hopefully that'll come back pretty soon. Concentric front lever is pretty much the same here. I don't really feel I've been making much progress with my front lever. I've been sticking to sort of the advanced tuck shape here as I work on the concentric pulls. And I've been breaking these reps up. So not doing 3 back to back, doing a rep, resting a little bit of time, doing another rep, resting a little bit of time, and just sort of playing with that. So I feel that I'm going to start to do a little bit more weighted chin-ups and pull-ups in my program. I'm going to add these back in. I just don't feel that my lats are strong enough for the front lever right now. So if I want to successfully unlock that front lever, I've just got to work on building a little bit more back strength. So I'm going to add some weighting pulling exercises in the next phase. The straddle planche band assisted has been one of my favorite movements of this phase. I've really enjoyed this movement. I feel stronger in this movement, and I look forward to training that part of the session. It's at the end of my 3rd day, and it's feeling great. I feel like I can hold, that straddle planche for sort of 8 to 10 seconds. I'm just using 2 bands at the moment, and if I keep practicing this, I know that I'm going to be able to drop those bands just a little bit more and use less band assistance. I think it's a great drill that's going to help progress towards the straddle planche. It's teaching me what the position feels like, what the position looks like, and it's allowing me to gradually overload the movement by using less and less band assistance in this one. I'm not a huge fan of using bands for dynamic movements like pull-ups, but for using it something like an isometric movement like the planche, I think it's definitely a great tool. The last thing we've been working on is just that L-sit press to handstand. This is part of my stall to press goal. And in week 4, I finally unlocked this movement with reasonable form. So straight arms, straight legs. But then after taking a week off as we traveled over, I've lost it. I haven't been able to get it back. So weeks 5 and 6, I just haven't been able to press back to handstand. I've done a few reps with the arms bending, but I've not been able to keep them straight. I feel this could be down to a little bit less flexibility. The day that I did it, I just felt that my core compression was a lot tighter. I was keeping my thighs closer to the torso, and as I came out of that L-sit and pressed to handstand, it felt easy. But since then, I just don't feel I've had that core compression. So maybe sitting in a car for so many days, just endlessly driving across Australia has taken away some of that. So hopefully with a little bit more flexibility training and just getting back into the consistency of training, that press to handstand, L-sit press to handstand will come back. All in all, it's been a pretty good phase of training. I've really enjoyed it. I feel that little break in between has maybe put me back just a little bit. But I know that now that we're here and I've got the ability to get the frequency and consistency back up in my training, that it won't take long for me to start to progress back towards the levels of strength or the level of skill that I had before, and also just get that flexibility working again. Hoping to overcome this hamstring sort of strain in the next phase. It's still there just a little bit, but if I'm careful with it and keep sort of working exercises that get a lot of blood flow through there, hopefully it'll heal a little bit. I'm planning to take a little bit of a break from the training vlogs. So I've done 3 phases now of my training to give you guys a little bit of an insight of how I train, what I train, where I'm at with my own gymnastic strength journey and flexibility journey. But I'm going to start to produce some more content on the YouTube channel, just some other videos, and just take a break from the vlog. Not saying I won't do it again, the training vlog, I definitely will. But yeah, now might be just a time for me to add more value in a different way. So if there's anything I can help you with in terms of your gymnastics flexibility or strength training, feel free to leave a comment below and I will share my knowledge and wisdom with you. So if it's got to do with pancake stretching, pike stretching, the gymnastics bridge, learning to handstand, press handstand, whatever it is, if you've got questions and you want me to make a video around a certain topic, just hit me up and let me know. But all in all, thanks for watching the training vlog, and until next time, happy training.